Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Racing Bros NASCAR Podcast, Episode 8, Atlanta Edition. How are you doing, Brian?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Not bad. Not as bad as Kyle Larson's feeling after that choke job. But we'll get into all that, all Atlanta, and then we'll be talking about, what everyone's going to be talking about this week. Bristol Dirt, they have the Pro Invitational. Practice is actually going on right now, but after this podcast, we should be, probably watching it. So hopefully you guys get to watch it, but hopefully you watch us first, though, because we're more important. They don't bring you the news like we do, but anyhow, we're gonna be talking about Atlanta, so we're gonna start getting into it. Brian, you want to start off with some notes you had during the race?
Oh boy, I had quite a lot. So first of all, I want to start off by saying we're at the point where it feels like once one person gets ahead, unless they really mess up, it just seems like they're gonna dominate the whole race, which is basically what Kyle Larson did. He messed up, and But anyway. So my notes go. Larson's fast again, obviously. Hendrick was dominating most of that race. Actually, you could argue all of that race. They looked amazing. Kyle Busch and Kurt Busch at the end of stage 1, I believe, both were top 5, weren't they?
Yeah, I don't know if Kyle was exactly top 5. I know Kurt Busch, I think, was top 5. But Kyle Busch was up there. He wasn't, far back. So he was in the top 10 either way.
Right. Yeah, no, but, I mean, that was a good stage for them. And then we had Harvick's flat tire, which... We'll get into that, because you'll... I know you won't be happy about that.
Every time. Pain.
I mean, Harvick was struggling to be top 10. He couldn't get back up for a little bit, and then as time progressed, he came back. After that, Blaney's top 5 past stage 1 consistently.
Blaney was fast all day.
He was looking amazing. I feel like he kind of struggled the year, because I feel like he should always be 2, 3, 4, one of those positions, if not first. Because he's just, he's that good of a driver. Then some of Brad's stage 2 failures. I don't know what you caught of that, but...
It looked like Truex just slid up, and Brad just hit him square, and that pushed in the nose.
Yeah.
His race was done after that, essentially.
That radioactive was not bad, I could tell you that. And then... Chase was struggling. Chase Elliott was struggling.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We're going to get into the Chase later, but he didn't... I mean, I knew he had a little bit of damage, on the tip of the nose, but it was not anything too substantial, I would say.
Right.
But, I mean, he was not fast, but...
And then something that I wanted to talk about with you. Kurt Busch spin out.
Oh, Hamlin ran through him. Yeah.
So, what do you think that means for their feud?
If this was Kurt Busch 10 years ago, I think Kurt Busch would have went over there and killed Hamlin.
Yeah.
Kurt Busch now is low key, more chill. I mean, he did say he just got ran through.
Right.
But that was the calmest Kurt Busch mad I've seen.
Right. Yeah. No, because he was I picked the middle lane. He's like, what happened? And then that's his crew chief said he just kind of ran into you.
Yeah. If you would have told me in 2011 Kurt would be one of the most chill, low-key guys, I would have told you you're fucking insane. That's just... It's just Kurt Busch is a whole different person than he was before. So that's good at least, but...
Right.
I don't think nothing make up... Kurt Busch knows Denny Hamlin's not running through him on purpose. I'm sure there's some fucking... maybe Hamlin thought he could push him straighter or something, but it just... He knows Denny Hamlin's not no scrub and is just going to do that and has any feud.
Right.
Denny Hamlin's multiple Daytona 500 champion. He's got like 45 wins. He's a veteran. He's 15 years, and then Kurt Busch is a champion. They know. Like,
right.
if this was someone else, then maybe, but, you know, they're both Hall of Fame fucking race car drivers. He knows. He knows it wasn't on purpose or anything like that.
And then to leave you, you know, some room to talk about stuff, I took a note with 90 laps to go saying the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 grid, because that was probably the craziest grid I've ever seen. Austin Dillon in 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Matty D in 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Suarez in 7th.
I'm going to talk about Suarez later, but he was actually...
He was doing pretty good.
I actually have some stats on Suarez.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Buescher was in 8th, and then Newman was in 9th.
Yeah, it looks like Roush... has really figured out, like, non-grip level mile and a halves. Like, that's a really specific, like, place. But, I mean, Las Vegas, they were just kind of eh. And then Phoenix was freaking terrible, especially for Newman. And then, you know, Atlanta, kind of like Homestead, you know, wears the tires, you know, got a different lanes you got to pick, but they were quick. I mean, Newman was top 15 all day, and then Buescher was top 10, like just like Homestead.
Right.
I mean, he didn't have outright speed, but...
So other than that, we can compare at this point. What else do you have?
I was going to talk about Suarez, like, a little bit. But
Okay.
So, Suarez, I saw the stat. There's this dude on Twitter named Avery Hage. He tweets out some motorsports analytics that, you know, I read sometimes. So, you know, shout out to him because I don't want to pay for that. But he does. But they actually show like each quarter of the race speed, and Suarez surprisingly the first two the first half he was like 18th in speed rankings, and then actually in the second half he was the third quickest car. Like,
oh wow.
I mean, they had Blaney was faster in the second half, and then Larson was second, and then Suarez was actually third. And then Bowman, I think, was fourth, if I believe. Like, the speed rankings and everything. But yeah, Suarez actually had a really fast car. Like, I'm extremely impressed with Trackhouse. Like,
yeah, that definitely makes Trackhouse look good.
I mean, I know they're essentially, like, the third RCR car, but RCR is quick this year. I mean, except for Reddick, but... I mean, Austin Dillon's running good. Like, he's top 11 in points. Suarez is getting top 15s, top 20s, like, really no issues. And then Reddick's having, like, a sophomore slump. But I just wanted to shout out to Suarez. Like, Suarez would have been, I believe, top 5 if he didn't have that speeding penalty. But, you know, caught speeding down pit road with the last pit stop.
Yeah.
It's never good. And then... we had Chase Elliott blown motor. It's kind of surprising. Hendrick motor blowing up, especially now when we run 550 horsepower. I don't even know, like, the last motor I remember blowing is like Kurt Busch last year, and that was shocking. Like, but I was extremely weird to see a blown motor. Like, those are weird now. It was like, whoa, that motor sucks. But then let's talk about that finish with Larson.
Oh man, that was an amazing finish. At least for Penske.
That boosted up, I would say, my ratings for the race.
100%.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, I know Blaney was faster, like, at the end.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I'll go to my grave saying I hate Logano, like, on the racetrack. Like, Kyle Larson, I feel you. I hate Logano. But Logano didn't...
That was a smart play.
Actually, Logano didn't do anything.
I thought he was slowing down a little bit just to kind of hold up Larson. And then that's when he got around.
No, I watched it back. Larson never got to Logano.
Really?
Logano just raced his line.
Interesting.
Logano was just racing his line, and Larson got with 4 or 5 car lengths, but he never got really closer.
So then you could actually argue that Logano did do something there. He got into Larson's head.
It's just, I think how Larson's line, Larson was running the same line Logano was.
Right.
And then I don't, at the end, the 5 car wasn't as fast as it was in the first 2 stages. I think that Kyle Larson, I say choke job, I mean it is, but I just don't think Kyle Larson got saved his tires enough. Because Atlanta, you gotta save tires. Those tires burn off. I think Blaney had a better job of saving his tires, but Larson just could not get past Logano because he was running his line. But Logano didn't do anything egregious. He ran he was just running. I do not like Logano, but Logano actually did nothing wrong in this. I mean, he was just racing because he's racing to be on the lead lap. Because if a caution comes out, he's on the lead. He's back in it. He could get a top 10 on a crazy restart or something. He's not out of the race. If he was a lap down, okay, you pull over. Seriously. You're already lap down, pull over. But, I mean, Larson shouldn't get mad because, he could have kept Logano a lap down if he would have lapped his teammate Chase Elliott. But, So... But Blaney stole that. Blaney was quick. I mean, it wasn't a fluke, but Blaney definitely took that. Good for Blaney, winning early.
Right? Yeah. No, that definitely needed at this point.
I mean,
but I do have to say, Blaney has now given Larson his 4th upset.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That is the 4th time that Larson has led a large amount of laps and has come second.
Oh, I saw that stat. I did see that stat.
That hurts.
Yeah, it's not great.
And he's only had 1 time where he has finished the race in first place. And according to that stat.
Right.
That's incredible.
But
I know that would hurt me.
It just shows, especially this season, there's no favorites.
No, not at all.
Because I picked Kevin Harvick. So I'm like, oh, that's an easy pick. Pick. Easy top 5 at least. Harvick sucked. I mean, he really...
oh, man.
I mean, that just shows the raw talent Kevin Harvick has to wheel that car to top 10. Because he said
he even said this is the worst car he's had the entire time he's raced at Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta's his fucking playground. And then when Kevin Harvick says that, oh boy, that's troublesome. Because SHR, what the hell is going on over there? Almirola was barely top 20. Custer was barely top 20. Chase Briscoe was fucking 4 laps down midway. And then Kevin Harvick was barely got a top 10. I know he went down a lap, but he wasn't quick. He never showed. Oh, he's got top 5 speed. No, Kevin Harvick wheeled his way to a fucking top 10 because he's Kevin fucking Harvick. Because that's just the raw talent he has. But SHR is in trouble.
Yep.
This
does not look good for them at all.
I mean, they're going through a Hendrick 2018 phase, but even might be worse with no practice and stuff. I mean, I expect Chase Briscoe to kind of do well this week coming up in Bristol dirt. I don't know how the hell Harvick's going to do. He's probably going to do terrible. Custer and Almirola probably guess the same thing.
Yeah.
But, it
being dirt, anybody has a shot.
It is dirt, so it's a huge wild card. What the hell am I supposed to say? Kevin Harvick's going to be terrible. He can win the fucking thing. I don't know. We don't know this.
It honestly comes down to who has the best handle on their car, I feel. It's going to be one heck of a race.
It just comes down to who's ever
Who doesn't
there?
get crashed out, yeah. Right.
Who's ever
That's
there
true.
with like 5 laps to go? Like it could be Quinn Houff, could be first. Like we don't know. Like I have no idea how that's gonna. Like I don't even know how we're gonna do a preview because what the hell are we gonna say?
Don't crash. Oh, there's the ending. Oh.
But yeah, we're gonna rate our race. Rate the race. So, you want to go first, or you want me to kind of explain
I can go first. I don't mind.
All right, we'll let you go first.
To be honest, before the ending, I was gonna be harsh on this race. I was gonna say it was like a 40.
Mm-hmm.
But that ending made it a little bit more like, ooh, I actually kind of enjoyed watching that race. So it brought it up to a 50 for me. And that's like a solid placement for me.
You are spot on. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like it was an average race. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you just watch the laps go down. Atlanta should not be 500 miles. Can we please not make Atlanta 500 miles? Make it like I don't have the brain power to watch 500 miles at Atlanta. I'm sorry.
So make it a 400 is basically what you're saying?
Or even make it 350. Like it's
350 could be doable.
I mean,
it was a short track but a long race, you know? Like that's kind of weird.
It's just make Atlanta shorter. Like the Xfinity race, 2.5 hours, perfect right there. Like who's going to watch 500 laps at Atlanta or 500 miles, 500 laps at Atlanta? Oh my god. But 500 miles.
Man, oh no.
Like it's not the early 2000s anymore. Like
if you're gonna keep it at 500, at least repave it.
Repave it and shorten it. How about this?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's something.
Because it's due for repave. I want a reconfiguration as well for the old Atlanta. And I
mean, it's possible with the next gen. Maybe it'll be more fun. You know.
Yeah. And then if you're going to repave it, don't repave it with the fucking sticky, like, the fucking black asphalt that's, like, has 10,000 fucking things of grip. Like, don't do that. Do something more abrasive so then we can get some racing in so it's not trash. Because Michigan is still trash from, like, 9 years ago, fucking repave. But Atlanta, like, who's watching 500 laps at Atlanta? Like, the 500 or more milers should be Daytona 500, Coke 600, Bristol, Martinsville. That's it. That should be the 4. Like, anything else? No. 400 or less. Oh, Southern 500. I don't want to... Southern 500, that should be 500. Just that race, though. Just the Southern 500 at Darlington. Should be 500 miles, because Darlington's awesome, but... Yeah, that was, my race was about 50, as 50 as well.
Yeah. There wasn't much you could really say about that race. Not much truly happened, other than a couple things. We had a lot of mishaps. There was a lot of things to take notes on.
Yeah, Atlanta, it kind of... It's like a different mile and a half. Like, you make more mistakes at Atlanta since it's so abrasive and stuff. But
right.
Atlanta is a lot more fun to drive than watch, I would say. Because
it's understandable.
I mean, my limited experience of driving Atlanta is in iRacing. So I'm not no expert, but it's pretty fun. I would say driving, but watching it might not be the best. But... yeah, 50 out of 100, average race.
Definitely. And then before we go on, you want to talk about Kyle Busch for a second and how he, even though we were talking about him last week and, kind of the slump he's in, do you think that this might be his turnaround now?
I think he's just, it's going to be hit or miss with him. I mean, honestly, I like how we talk shit about him and then he finishes 5th, no problem. But, yeah, shout out to Kyle Busch for placing top 5. So,
right?
I mean, it could be something, but he might even be one to watch. Shed Bristol dirt, or a dark horse. I don't know how Kyle Busch would be dark horse, but we'll get into that later. But shout out for Kyle Busch for taking our shit talk. No way he heard it, but he finished fifth. Good job.
The doubt fuels him.
But now we're gonna get into some heated topics. Gragson and Hemric. I mean, we've seen the fucking videos. We've seen the fucking tweets back and forth. We know what happened. You guys don't know what happened. First of all, you lived under a rock. Second, essentially, Hemric overshot his box because someone else was exiting and he didn't want to get hit. And then Gragson went in his box. His box was in front of Hemric, and Hemric was kind of in his box. But Hemric backed up, and Gragson got pissed off, essentially flipped him off. And then while he was backing up, just barely taps his right front. And that made Hemric pretty pissed. So then after the race, Gragson was given an interview, and Hemric came up to him. And then they started fucking swinging. No real big blows. I would say Hemric got a little bit of a jab in. But then, crew broke it up and all that. But essentially a little fight. But I just want to see if you had any insight on it, if you think it was intentional. What are your thoughts on it, Brian?
To be honest, I don't really see that being intentional. Mm-hmm. If it's any other driver. Mm-hmm. Because we kind of know how Gragson is. Let's be real at this point.
Yeah, he's an ass whip.
I mean, he just. I feel like maybe he was trying to get something out of it, But I don't understand the want to do something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't understand how you wouldn't see something like that coming. Why would you have to be like that? You're in a professional scene. This just makes you, especially from what we talked about before, in a previous episode. This guy is he's getting worse.
Yeah,
I just don't see this turning around for him.
Yeah, it makes him look like a huge ass. I would say when it initially happened, I was pretty pissed about it. Kind of took a couple days, looked at the video again. I know Gragson's history. It's well documented. He's got more fights and run-ins than he has actually Xfinity wins. So that speaks stuff. I don't think, looking back on it, I don't think it was super intentional. I think it was more or less careless. He just backed up. I don't fucking care what happens. He just kind of went in reverse. Was whatever. Fuck him. I don't think he purposely, put in reverse and, I'm going to hit his fucking right front. I just think it was more or less careless. He didn't care whether he hit it or not. He's oh, whatever. Fucking using my box. But, I don't know what the fuck they got to do. I know Kyle Busch was an ass, his whole life. Kevin Harvick, even younger, was an ass. But they backed it up. They had more success, and they can do that now because they're fucking Hall of Famers. Gragson has 2 Xfinity wins in JRM equipment and fucking Joe Gibbs equipment in 2.5 years and the Xfinity level. That's pretty much he has no resume to be saying this type of shit, and he just shows himself as a huge douchebag. I'm sorry. He looks like a huge douche every time. He was given the interview, he was fine. And then he goes on to say, oh, well, if I had his career, I'd be pretty pissed too. Dude, you have 2 Xfinity wins. It's not you're hot shit either. If you start winning on the track, maybe you can start being a douche like fucking Kyle Busch. But he's just got to settle down. He's got to chill. Just, don't have to fight people every fucking race. It's just so aggravating. He's so polarizing as a driver. Because I mean, to be honest, I don't really think he's that talented. Like, I see, everyone's like, oh, he's got talent. I don't really see it, like, with how he's running. I mean, he could outdrive me in fucking bathtub races or anything. But I think he's just over his head. Like, really. I mean, he's had the best equipment, and he only has 2 Xfinity wins. Like, it's essentially like a Michael Annett. Like, Michael Annett has 1 Xfinity win with fucking JRM equipment. Like, Noah Gragson should have won more already, but he hasn't. And then he's got his attitude like he's like hot shit and he's a douchebag. So that's my kind of thoughts on it. Like, I don't think it was purpose. Like, he was trying to hurt the guy, but I mean, it's just boiling over. Like, especially with the David Starr shit. Like, we know David Starr is not a fucking world beater, but he's running pretty garbage equipment. And he wants to finish 12th. That's good for him. You know, he's usually running 25th. He's like, oh, 12th? Good day. Let me keep in 12th. He's not like, oh, let me just lose a tire real quick fucking and crash into Gragson. Like, it's not like that at all. And then he just went on and on and on about it. Like, and then I don't know what his owner's doing. Like, Dale Jr., like, I know, like, I want to say, like, fire the guy, but just, like, I sit him down or something, like, explain to him. I mean, it's every week it's something with this fucking guy. Like, what's going to be next week? Well, Xfinity's not racing, but what's going to be at Martinsville? Oh, he fucking, just takes out someone. It's every week. It's like, oh, what's going to happen with Gragson? It's just super annoying, and it's just, he has an attitude problem. I mean, it's not like I've never seen Kyle Busch do it. I mean, Kyle Busch has done it. He's not no fucking saint either. But, I mean, he has a Hall of Fame resume, and it's kind of just like Kyle Busch, that's just Kyle Busch. Like, Gragson has no fucking resume. He's won 2 Xfinity races, and he thinks he's hot shit. But that's all I really have to say on it. Like, I don't have any other thoughts on it. I just think he needs to settle down and stop getting in the fucking fights every week. And he's got a douchey personality about him. It's not like I'm liking fucking cream puff Daniel Hemric either. It just, Gragson just has an attitude problem, and he thinks he's made it and he's hot shit, but he's really, I mean, dude, he's won 2 Xfinity races, and then, future Cup Series owner is going to look at that. Oh, let's look at his resume. 2 Xfinity wins, while Reddick and Byron and Chase Elliott has won a championship in that car with the same crew chief, and he really never came close, so that's really all I got to say on it. So
there's a fine line between them, that's for sure.
Yeah. But we'll move into another question. I just want to get the Gragson and Hemric issue off my chest. I know it's been like 4 or 5 days now, but still, it's just aggravating. Is Chase Elliott having a championship hangover? Because he has been, honestly, probably the slowest Hendrick car this year.
Being honest, I want to say yes, but there's a part of me that's, he's going to the back every race.
Mm-hmm.
I think literally every race, right? And while he hasn't been able to get back to the front, his pit stops also aren't even close to everybody else at Hendrick.
Yeah.
I look back on that, and I mean, his pit crew is not as good as like Larson, as Bowman.
Right.
There's a little bit, there's a little bit that could be done in that aspect, but I don't know if it's championship hangover or if it's more this year, if that makes sense.
Right.
I mean, anything's possible. Maybe he just is having that championship hangover, and he might not do a 2-peat or a 3-peat or something like that. But I just, in my heart, I want to say no because I think he's genuinely a good driver.
I think he's gonna have a bit of a championship hangover this year.
Yeah.
He's not garbage or anything. I think he's gonna have a little less of a season he had his championship year. He's gonna be definitely, in the final four, I think, contention. But I think he's gonna be a little off maybe this year. Hendrick's fast, so he could always turn it around. Like Bristol Dirt, he could win. But any track he could really win. We got 6 more road courses. He can win all of them, really. I just think he's a little off. The 5 has been honestly probably the best car all year.
Yep.
24's been up there. 88 or 48, sorry. 48's been top 10 pretty much. Most of it. Top 10 speed. But
Byron and Larson already have wins. So
true.
And Chase Elliott being a championship winner, you think he would at least be up there.
Right.
Getting contests for wins.
But he's just not running near the front as his other teammates are. But I'm sure they'll turn it around and the whole Hendrick bunch, like someone else be struggling, even maybe a Byron or a fucking Bowman, and then we'll be like, well, are they off and blah blah blah. But just had to get it out there, see how we're feeling about Chase Elliott 6 races in. But other than that, we're gonna move on to the news. So we have just a couple news items, not really anything big. Actually, before we recorded, we found out iRacing is gonna have the Chicago Street Course for the Pro Invitational, and it's actually going into iRacing as well. Like after that, before that race, it's gonna go in to the actual service. So that could be something to look out for. That street circuits, we've been talking about them last year or so, coming into the NASCAR. It could be a possibility. They can test it out with iRacing, see how it is, and maybe do the real thing.
Actually, funny enough, this just in from Bob. NASCAR set to run Chicago Street Course in iRacing with eye on possible live event.
See, if Bob's tweeting it, he's hearing something. We trust Bob. I trust Bob with my firstborn. Bob is the man. Bob is essentially Jesus himself. But we love Bob. Shout out to Bob Pockrass. But we should just name it the Bob Insider Podcast. the Bob and Sauce or whatever. But we're gonna move on now from that. I don't even know what that was, but LOL. Stop talking about Bob. But we're gonna talk about throwback schemes already. Well, we got a throwback. And a little personal note. This is my favorite scheme ever run in NASCAR. This scheme, it's my favorite paint scheme. I can't say it's like my favorite main ever paint scheme because it only ran one race, but it is special. Josh Berry and Tire Pros are going to run a throwback to Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 2001 Pepsi 400 car. The white car, the baseball, Mikey and fucking Dale Jr. on the fucking roof hugging it out, cheering it. 6 months after his dad died at that same track. They're running a scheme to it. It's been 20 years, and they're going to run a scheme to it. That just... that pulls at my heartstrings because that is my favorite car, my favorite ever race ever. I could watch that race and probably still cry at the ending. It hits your heartstrings, man, and to see that car gonna be out there again. I saw a side. It actually has Dale Jr. and Michael Waltrip embracing on the side, like they did in that famous picture. And then the other side is Dale Jr. just like putting his arms up. So it's actually pretty cool that he's going to run a scheme. I know it's not Budweiser, or we can't even get the DEI font because Teresa's out there looking for us. But yeah, that scheme's going to run Darlington. So our first Darlington throwback scheme. And then last night there was, some crazy shit happening on Twitter. Because essentially they're running the Pro Invitational Series. And they didn't invite Timmy Hill, who won it last year. And Timmy Hill was pretty much screwed out of it. He sold some sponsorship, I heard, over it. But Austin Cindric decided that took over Brad because Brad didn't want to race. So they had Austin Cindric race the two. But he stepped aside to let Timmy Hill race tonight. So shout out to Penske and Austin Cindric and Brad Keselowski for, letting him run. Maybe some outside sponsorship can come to him and sponsor his real life car. That would be awesome to see.
Right.
Hey, maybe
that would be pretty awesome.
He could get a win. Maybe it can lead to, a little something. Maybe at Penske, maybe Xfinity ride for one race. I mean, that's wishful thinking, but, it could happen. But we'll be rooting for Timmy Hill over here in Racing Bros NASCAR podcast headquarters. So hopefully that turns out for Timmy Hill. But now, that's just the news for this week. Not a lot of news. Pretty boring news race week because, we're all waiting for Bristol Dirt. That's coming. That's coming at then. We're not changing any format for special races, but we're going to answer another question. What team has surprised you the most in 6 races? It could be like, you could give one that, surprised you good and one that surprised you bad.
Okay.
Either way you want to do it.
The one that surprised me good, easily Hendrick. Easily. I mean, they're coming out the door just literally the best team right now.
Right.
There's really nothing else to say about them. They look insanely strong. I mean, definitely not where I expected them to be in 6 races.
Right.
As for the bad, I'm not going to say SHR.
Who are you thinking? Brian? I don't know. We might have lost Brian. We're going to take a quick pause. Pause it. All right. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties with Brian. Brian, you were saying that you're not going to pick SHR, so who are you going to pick?
Yeah, I think we've given SHR enough stuff this year. Oddly, I'm going to say Penske.
Penske?
Mainly after that last race. I understand there were some unfortunate events that happened, with Brad.
Mm-hmm.
But other than Blaney that last race, neither of the others were looking really that good. I mean,
that's right.
Logano this year has been running pretty well. Brad's been kind of up and down. And then Blaney we didn't really see coming out of the gate like we expected.
Right.
So I just feel like they took a step back this year that was kind of unnecessary, and that they should probably have been, if not the best team, then they should have been tied with Hendrick right now.
Right. I don't think, I'm not going to, it's one man's opinion. I don't think they're that far off, to be honest. I think they are a third best team, but, they're a little ways away from Hendrick and Gibbs, but, it's what team has surprised you. So that's a personal question. I'm not going to, each have their own opinion. One that surprised me good. One that surprised me good. Good English, Zach. But one team that surprised me was definitely Daniel Suarez, the Trackhouse team.
I will agree with that.
I mean, I didn't expect him really to run up front. I mean, Atlanta he had a top 5 car. Like, that's insane to me that the 99 was that fast. I mean, he could run 30th the rest of the year. But Daniel Suarez is pretty fast this year.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one team that surprised me. One team that surprised me in the wrong way. I mean, it's the elephant in the room. We talk about it every week. Stuart Haas. What the hell is going on there? I mean, Harvick's off. He's not, dominating like he did last year. Cole Custer, not really there at all. I mean, he had one good run at Homestead and then got a flat tire. And that was about it. Eric Almirola's not even fighting for top 10s. Like, usually Almirola's like a 7th to like 12th place finisher. He's got one finish this year of that, 11th at Phoenix. And then Chase Briscoe, I mean, you kind of got to expect rookie, no practice, never raced his car, kind of learning as they go. So Chase Briscoe, I was kind of expecting not to do well. Maybe at the end of the season he could start doing better, like seeing a racetrack twice. It would be interesting to see him like at Atlanta, or like a Vegas or something like that. See how he is, like better going second time at those tracks. But I mean, SHR is off. They're off.
Very much.
It's essentially Harvick carrying the team. Like, it's kind of like RCR Harvick carrying the fucking team. But other than that, really, I mean, it's just Stuart Haas really disappointed me. I expected some bigger things from them. Maybe the Cole Custers take a step up. Or even Almirola Almirola being the top 10 to 16th in points. Not even close. Chase Briscoe's a rookie with no practice, so what do you expect? But, yeah, their team's off. They got to figure out something.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that's why I kind of wanted to stay away from SHR, because I kind of figured that would be, obviously it's the elephant in the room.
Yeah, it's you got to address it. Like, it's 6
Right.
races in. There's something going on. But
Right.
now we move on to Bristol Dirt. Dun-dun-dun. All right, dirt expert Brian. What do you expect from, okay, full disclaimer. We're not dirt experts at all.
I know nothing about dirt.
Literally the only thing I know about dirt is I raced another day, and I was pretty trash at it. So that's my dirt racing. I know Kyle Larson raced sprint. I know some of the names of cars. Like, there's sprint cars and dirt modifieds and different sprint cars and shit like that. That's about all I know. I know, isn't Steve Kinzer a good... I think Steve Kinzer is a good dirt racer. Oh, I'm going to get killed. Donnie Schatz, isn't that one? He races for Tony now. I don't... Okay, I'm going to stop before I, completely embarrass myself. Before the dirt racer's like, oh, you not know this guy. Sorry, I don't watch dirt.
I know 3 of probably many of the actual Cup Series drivers that did go on dirt before.
Yeah, essentially
that's about it.
my only dirt experience is watching Eldora. So take that as you will. Watching the dumb trucks slide around on dirt. That's about my dirt knowledge. So we have no dirt knowledge. We don't know what it means to do this to the track, or if we don't run on night, the track's gonna rubber up or whatever. We don't know. Okay, so we're not gonna get into the technical side because that's not our expertise at all. Right. Brian knows open wheel and stuff like that. I mean, he's learning the NASCAR game. He's not that far behind. He's coming along on the NASCAR game. Dirt racing, just totally out of
one of us. Yeah.
our leagues. It's just, I have no idea. I'm going to play my ignorance on this. I'm not going to try. So, if the track is shut up like this, then you could pass it. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be, this is the first time in 50 1 years or 50 years that the Cup Series is going to be racing on dirt. So it's going to be interesting and much must watch to see these cars go 250 lap. Well, they're going to run heat races before, I believe, and that's going to set the qualifying order. Maybe, don't take my word for it. They're gonna have like little races before, and I think that sets qualifying up. I hope.
Okay.
And then they're gonna run the full 250 lap race, which is, I've heard, insane from dirt racers. Like that's one thing I've heard. Like a 250 lap dirt race is out of your mind, but got to get that TV money. So, what do you expect this race? We don't know. I mean, it's a wild card. What do you expect?
I know what I expect.
Chaos.
15 drivers to pass the start finish.
And maybe.
I'm talking first lap.
Maybe.
No, I'm honestly, I don't see a lot of cars finishing this race. It's going to be very interesting.
I could see cars finishing. I don't know how fast or slow they will be going, but it's just, I mean, what do you expect?
This might have to be split up into 2 sections or 2 days or something.
I don't know what's going to happen.
That's a lot of laps.
Man, I wish we were going to this race because that would be awesome. Because this is going to be must-watch. That's what I know. It's going to be must-watch to see what the hell this is and how the Cup cars are going to act on dirt. I heard they're not going to have a splitter, so there's going to be no splitter.
Oh, boy.
Like overhang. I assume the side skirts are going to be like lifted up, or the car is going to be lifted up off the grounds. This is what I assume. I have no idea. I also heard there's going to be like a screen in front of the windshield, so hopefully it doesn't get too dirty or like too much mud on it. But it's going to be a show. It's going to be something. I think it's an interesting idea. I prefer Bristol on asphalt or concrete. That's what I prefer. So Bristol dirt's going to be interesting. I'm going to have an open mind. Let me see how it is.
Yep.
Just like Atlanta, I'm going to have an open mind. I don't know what kind of shit show it's going to cause, but something's going to happen. I guess we're going to go into our picks.
Right.
Yeah, we have pretty much, like, we know who's raced on dirt before. Like, we know Kyle Larson, obviously. Like, that's going to be the obvious pick. We don't want to go too obvious now, okay? So,
yeah, we're trying to have some fun for this race. This one's kind of a throw up.
I mean, Larson also could not win.
That's true.
So, we have dark horses who would be weird dark horses on a usual week, but, with dirt experience and stuff that we factored into our picks, we chose them as dark horses. So, Brian, if you want to lead with your picks.
Okay. My winner's Alex Bowman.
Okay.
He's got a little bit of experience on dirt. He's just out of 3. Well, there's 4 drivers, right, that have dirt experience. For sure.
I think there's more. There's
okay.
Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, Alex Bowman, Ricky Stenhouse, Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch.
Okay,
Joey,
so there is quite a bit.
Joey Logano.
I was thinking more like
Bubba.
Favorite-wise,
I would say favorites is what I would say is Kyle Larson, obviously. Christopher Bell.
Maybe Stenhouse.
Stenhouse he's kind of underrated right now. Like, he should be a favorite, but people are kind of underrating him.
Right.
Bowman's raced. Chase Briscoe. Did I already say that?
No, not this time.
Yeah, I would say probably Chase Briscoe, Christopher Bell, Larson is probably the top.
Yeah, I mean, I picked one of the people that I knew for sure had raced on dirt, and I didn't want to go Larson, even if it's a 99% chance that Larson wins. If somebody told me that, I'd be like, okay,
That's a
that
gimme.
just kind of throws me off. Then it was kind of like the Chase Elliott pick, we just kind of figured it was going to happen.
Right.
I mean, he didn't, which again, this could happen to Larson. So yeah, I went with Bowman, and my dark horse being William Byron. He's already won once. This track, maybe he knows surprisingly how to drive on dirt well.
Right.
Anything's possible. That's I don't know. That's really all I can say for this.
Right. Oh, I got a good dark horse. I'll start off with that. One guy that I just came to mind right now that has raced dirt before and is racing Bristol on the trucks. Your old buddy Ryan Newman. That's a dark horse. He can run up there. He's gonna have prior track knowledge, so I can say Ryan Newman will be one maybe to watch out for. Also Kyle Busch, I would say. Ryan Newman's my dark horse pick, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Busch is up there because he actually surprisingly has raced dirt and is getting better at it. The person I'm picking is, I guess, essentially like the second favorite is Christopher Bell. My reasoning, I haven't picked him all year yet. I don't want to use up another Larson pick because I think there's other racetracks he could be fastest as well. Also, I need for sure thing because I am falling behind on these points. So I got to make up some points here. So hopefully Christopher Bell turns my luck around and makes me able to, catch up on Brian. But I'm going to choose Christopher Bell and then Ryan Newman. So those are going to be my picks for this week. Yeah, Bristol Dirt, we don't really have much of a preview. It's basically essentially us saying we have no idea.
Yeah, right.
But it's going to be must watch, so watch it Sunday on Fox. It's going to be must watch. Definitely going to have to watch it.
Right.
But you want to add anything else, Brian, or you want to sign off for the week?
I think we're ready to sign off.
All right, sounds good to me. Thank you guys for watching or listening. I always say watching. I mean, some people do watch, but watching/listening to our Racing Bros NASCAR podcast, episode 8. We reviewed Atlanta and previewed Bristol Dirt. So good luck to everyone out there. Good luck to everyone in Pro Invitational. That's going to happen tonight. Should be happening soon. And yeah, thank you guys for coming by. We're going to be coming back with another episode next Wednesday, reviewing Bristol Dirt. So that's going to be interesting. See how that race plays out. But we'll see you guys next week.
Take care.